Okay.
Hello everybody and welcome back to JoyClicks. My name is Christian and today we are doing our second chapter of our pre-E3 coverage. Our first, of course, was going over Bethesda, all the leaks, rumors, and speculation that are leading up to the conferences. Starting with Bethesda, because disclaimer, EA Play, not a fan unless they have Skate 4 or some good Mass Effect thing. And Xbox, I'm excited for. Not an expert on Xbox, so we're skipping those. But today, of course, next up in the lineup is Square Enix. This year, of course, is the return of the Square Enix press conference after 3 years of being absent from the show in a formal press conference setting. However, this year isn't really a formal press conference setting. They're going to be handling everything they have to show in a Nintendo Direct style video presentation. But before we look into what they could be bringing to this year's showcase, I think it's important to look at what they showed the last time they had the stage at E3 back in 2015. Some of the highlight announcements were a Nier sequel, which ended up becoming Nier Automata, the critically acclaimed action RPG from Platinum and Yoko Taro last year in 2017. Tomb Raider Go was shown off. That was the newest addition in their Go franchise of mobile/handheld Vita games. Kingdom Hearts Mobile came to America. That was an announcement that they revealed then, and the game has been pretty much doing well from what I'm aware of. I'm a Kingdom Hearts fanatic, but I don't play that game. And Lost Sphere, the newest JRPG from Tokyo RPG Factory. So I pulled together a list based on all the most recent headlines about Square Enix games, about E3 rumors, what is most likely to be there, what has a chance of being there, and what is kind of looking a little iffy. Because Square Enix has a lot of projects they're working on right now. So starting off with what's pretty much locks to be there, we have Kingdom Hearts 3. Kingdom Hearts 3 just had a reveal on Friday, May 18th for press to go and get their hands on and give out gameplay impressions, which sounded very, very good. And some new footage came out showcasing fully voiced English VO, new cutscenes, more looks at the Toy Story world, and a few other things. There was no release date given at the event, but they did promise a release date to be revealed, quote-unquote, next month. So next month being June, of course. And it would only make sense that E3 would give the confirmation to the biggest Square Enix release of the year. That's right, Tomb Raider. Kingdom Hearts 3 is eating your lunch. I'm sorry. Dragon Quest XI is also likely to be shown off at E3 this year. Dragon Quest XI released last summer in Japan and is finally coming to the West on PS4 and Nintendo Switch, but at a later date. New additions to the game, like more voiced dialogue, have been extended with the localization of this title, which is probably why it took this long to get over here. It's likely that they'll show a new trailer for this game, maybe some new gameplay, and probably another look at Dragon Quest Builders 2 while we're on the subject of Dragon Quest. Ideally, we would get more info of the Switch version of the game, since that is such a huge mystery right now. It's not even out in Japan. They have the PS4 version and the 3DS version, but considering all we know is that it's coming in relation to Dragon Quest on Switch, I wouldn't expect much new info about the release for Nintendo Switch. Shadow of the Tomb Raider is likely to make an appearance. Again, we had a recent press event where industry people were able to go get their hands on the game behind closed doors and give out impressions. It sounds like the same old Tomb Raider we're used to from the past few years. It's tough to say which stage this will be on at the showcase, if it's going to be on PlayStation or Xbox or just Square Enix, but considering the public hasn't seen much of it yet, we're probably getting a decent chunk of Tomb Raider from somebody this year. Next up on the most likely candidates is Octopath Traveler. Again, I don't know which stage this will have more presence at, Square Enix or Nintendo, because Square Enix is developing this brand new RPG from the creators of the Bravely Default series, and Octopath Traveler is filling the summer exclusive role for the Nintendo Switch. It's an exclusive title, it's coming out in July, and I feel like Nintendo might want to spotlight that since it's a pretty meaty RPG, and Square Enix has really no benefit to wasting time on an exclusive on their stage when they could be pumping out stuff for their millions of other titles they're working on right now that are also releasing on multi-platforms. Left Alive will absolutely be shown off because it's a new mech survival game that was shown off late last year, slated to come out in 2018, and we've seen almost nothing about it. So there isn't much to go on outside of the fact that the director has worked on Armored Core in the past, and the character designer is Yoji Shinkawa of Metal Gear fame. I love his art. It's supposed to release in 2018, like I said, so we better see something at E3 2018 unless there's a delay waiting for us, or if it's a really rough early access title. It's still up in the air, because Square Enix has been talking a lot of game about opening up their IPs to reach out into new audiences, aka games as a service. So moving on from the most likely candidates to being pretty likely to get stage presence at E3 on the Square Enix stage is Life is Strange 2, after the original's release in 2015 and the prequel Before the Storm having just wrapped up a few months ago. We look to the future, we look to Don't Nod again, and see what they've got to show us with Life is Strange 2. It would be interesting to see what Don't Nod has to show with Life is Strange 2, considering they talked up new powers, new characters, and a new setting. This could be there. I feel like it's a little too soon considering Before the Storm just ended, and Don't Nod has a Vampire coming up this summer, but they could easily throw together a teaser trailer and a logo, because it's not hard to do that at all. It wouldn't be any showcase without a Final Fantasy spin-off or an update to Final Fantasy XIV or some new DLC for Final Fantasy XV. There's probably going to be one of those announced at the show. I know nothing about Final Fantasy XIV other than it's confusing in my head, but if they want to show something off, E3 makes sense, or WrestleMania apparently that makes sense to them. Same goes for Dissidia. I tried the beta, I know nothing about it. What I'm really focused on here, though, is a spin-off release for Final Fantasy, considering the Switch has 0 Final Fantasy games being out for over a year at this point. Square Enix obviously sees the potential of releasing games on the Switch after putting I Am Setsuna and Lost Sphere, the 2 titles from Tokyo RPG Factory. So I could see a port of a game like World of Final Fantasy 15 Pocket Edition, maybe even a collection of the old games being on the Switch, considering everybody wants to throw their games into collections for the Switch now. Sega does, Capcom does, so Square Enix, yeah, sure. Release a full-priced Final Fantasy, $60, 1 through 9 at least. But speaking of Final Fantasy 15, we also got the recent roadmap of DLC leading all the way into 2019, so it is pretty fair to guess they're going to show off some new 15 crew adventures. But moving on to the most questionable, arguably most hyped game they could show off at E3 this year, the Crystal Dynamics Avengers game. This is the one I'm expecting to show up in a big way. Realistically, I think we're probably just going to get a new trailer, hopefully some gameplay, hopefully giving us ideas of what the game has to offer, considering all we've had since its announcement in January 2017 is a 51-second teaser with rendered images. Not even a title, just a hashtag. But if we have to make guesses about this game, like I said, Square Enix is looking into games as a service, so I would bet on this being a living multiplayer game like Destiny or The Division, where you have a character, in this case a Marvel character, you can upgrade with new armor and weapons like in Injustice 2, make them your own version of the character, fully playable by yourself, like Destiny, like The Division, but the game lives and makes its profit with the online multiplayer with your friends. Make your own Avengers team, do Horde mode for the Battle of New York, do anything. I want to make a separate video about this, especially if we learn more about it at E3. I think there's a ton of potential here with a multiplayer-focused Avengers game, and the fact that Square Enix is having a press conference, Infinity War hype is still high. We just got Thanos and Fortnite. I could really see Avengers from Square Enix having a big splash at the conference this year and showing off a brand new world for Marvel video games. Just like the leak from Bethesda's E3 video I did earlier this week, again, click here to check that out, courtesy of the leak from Walmart Canada, the same leak that confirmed Rage 2 existing. We have Just Cause 4. Just Cause 3 was released in 2015, 5 years after the last gen release of Just Cause 2. In my own personal opinion, it feels too soon for Just Cause 4, but after seeing Rage 2 get confirmed, we may as well just believe that Just Cause 4 is real and is going to get shown off this year. Now we move on to the section. I literally title it in the Word document. A Nier Automata follow-up. Square Enix has come out in interviews post-release of Yoko Tara's Nier Automata, saying how they were pleasantly surprised with the reception of Nier both critically and commercially, officially announcing that a sequel to the 2017 Game of the Year contender was in development. Square Enix does have a knack for showing off games way before they're ready, just wait until we get to the next thing on this list. And considering we saw Nier get revealed at E3 2015, and it came out 2 years later, there's a chance we could possibly get a teaser for a follow-up, but I wouldn't hold my breath on this one. And lastly, we come to the crowned jewel, the Final Fantasy VII Remake. Everybody on the internet is waiting for this game to get re-revealed. Everywhere you look, everybody's just talking about the re-reveal of this game. E3 obviously is the perfect place for this to happen. Square Enix's first conference in years would be an even better place for this to happen. So why does it feel like this game is going to be a no-show? Earlier this year, just a few weeks ago, we learned that the production on this project is being severely shaken up, and Square has large ambitions for the Final Fantasy VII Remake, saying they want to redesign Cloud, make the story even better. Don't stick to the original formula. They want to really go above and beyond with everything they want to throw into this game. I think there's a lot of public opinion riding on this release surrounding Square Enix after the mixed release of Final Fantasy 15, the GOTY for 2016, the constant delays for projects, the incredibly extensive development time for Kingdom Hearts 3. There is a lot people are pinning on the success or failure of the Final Fantasy VII Remake, and Square knows that. They know they have to show up big. They know they have to be confident, considering they said they're dividing things up into episodes. It's been so long since this game's been announced. I could see a re-reveal happen. I could see a redesign and reimagining of that world. I in no way think that this is coming out this year. I don't think it's coming out next year, but I could very well see a re-reveal, a new trailer, some more in-engine stuff, anything to just get people on the right track thinking about Final Fantasy VII Remake. So that's everything I have planned out for what to expect from Square Enix this year at E3, but considering who we're talking about here, I could easily see some new projects being shown off. Maybe we get another 50-second teaser about the Guardians of the Galaxy game. Maybe we get a brand new look at Final Fantasy 16. Or something from Luminous Studios, just something that we really shouldn't be seeing right now, but who knows? I wouldn't put anything past them at this point. I like Square Enix, I love their video games, I love Kingdom Hearts to death. I can't wait to see that at this year's E3. There's a lot riding on this E3. They have a lot to hopefully show us, considering they're taking up a press conference slot. I hope it's awesome, and I hope it works out for everybody involved. So what do you all think? Comment down below, let me know. What do you want to see out of the Square Enix conference? Do you think we see some brand new project that is years away? Do you think we see Final Fantasy VII Remake this year at the show? What do you think? I want to talk about it. And while you're down in the comments, if you're new, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so you never miss any content from JoyClicks moving forward. I would appreciate any shares, any likes, any direction of your friends to JoyClicks leading up to the E3 season so we can all celebrate together. It's my favorite time of the year, more than Christmas, more than my birthday, and I can't wait for this year's E3. So until next time, good vibes and good game.